Presented by Church Tech U, it's the ProPresenter show. On today's show, another way to fill a text box with a background video that doesn't restart when you go to a different slide. Hi, and welcome again to the ProPresenter show. This is the show where I help you learn all about ProPresenter. My name's Paul Allen Clifford. One of the cool things that Renewed Vision added with ProPresenter 7 was the ability to fill text boxes with all kinds of stuff like, for example, pre-recorded video backgrounds. That's great. Unfortunately, that restarts every time that you go to a new slide, so that's not so great. Well, earlier I created a hack for how to get around that problem. But since ProPresenter 7.4, they've added some additional features that give us another way to do that. So I thought that we would take a look at doing just that. So let's head over to my computer and we'll take a look at that. So let me scroll down to the appropriate song file that I've tweaked to make this happen. And I think it is this one. So earlier I had kind of a convoluted way to do this, and today I was looking at some of the new features in ProPresenter 7.4 that I hadn't gone over completely, and it occurred to me I could do this a different way. So let's do this. First off, let's go into, let's right click and I'm going to go edit slide. I like to create themes from within the slides editor because I can get a feel for how that's actually going to be in the real world. So if we select this and then go to shape and select fill, of course we've got color, that's not new. We've got media, but we've also got another thing here, and that is screen preview. So I can select a screen preview that only has the background playing on it. So that's what I could do right there. And as long as I created a theme from that, so let's go to right click there, themes, new theme from selection, give that a name, that would work. But how did I create the screen that is filling that? Well, first off, I went to Screens, and then Configure Screens, and I created a placeholder screen. In this case, I created it as an audience screen, but I could have just as easily created it as a stage screen. It really doesn't matter. In this case, since I created it as an audience screen, let me show you the steps that you'd take to do that. So, audience screen, and notice basically I just clicked plus up here and went down to new placeholder, and I want that to be the same resolution as my main output. So I'm going to do that right there. And so I've also called this backgrounds. Now if we go into screen and edit looks, what I want for backgrounds is I only want it to show the media, and I don't want any of the other outputs to show the media unless I want them to be full screen. So let's do this. So I've made that template earlier, and I'm going to put that on my alpha output along with the slides. And let me leave it main out just as it is. So when I click that, let's go to my backgrounds here and let's select this one. Okay, so the main out, when I do that, that's full screen with the lower third there. But when I go to my alpha, you'll notice it has the exact same thing going on where I can switch between lyrics, and that is filling this, but it doesn't restart. I will tell you that there are a couple of gotchas with doing this. So let's head over into the theme editor, and I want to show you the things that I did. First off, this is the theme, and you might already notice part of what I did. Select fit there. So I was noticing that when I did this as a screen preview, it wouldn't crop it. So that was a bit of a problem. If I squished down the text box to where it was about the size that I wanted it to be, then the problem that I ran into was that that it was squishing it left and right, so it was always filling. It was like a stretch to fit. So basically what I did was I made this not quite full screen, like this, right? So it's not, doesn't quite fit full screen, so that crops it left to right. Then I move this down here, and I put the text on the top of the text box using this button right here. But with it at the top of the text box, it was butting right up against the top there, and that didn't look good at all. So then I went in here, and you'll notice that there is a place for margin right here, and it's top margin. So I just kept playing with this number until it looked about right. So if we go back into show and click on this, see it did affect it a little bit, you'll see that it's not in fact cropped at the bottom, it's only cropped at the top. So that's the downside of doing it this way. But since I'm doing a screen preview instead of my other hack, which was, just spoiler alert, to send it out via either NDI or Siphon and then bring it back into ProPresenter via NDI or Siphon as a live video feed, that was just all kinds of crazy. So doing it this way, I can change between my backgrounds at any time, and on my main output, it follows. So that's why I did it that way. I guess theoretically I could do that, as I said, with the stage version, but it would be a little more complicated. So that's why I chose to have just one output, and this is the backgrounds output that is only showing the media layer, and then it's filling the text box with that particular layer, and as such I can tweak it and do stuff, and so it's not restarting on every slide because it's getting that information from a layer that doesn't restart. So that's how I did that. If you like this content, I bet you'd like my Pro7 Quickstart course. So just head on over to TDM.fyi/Pro7Quick. Fill in that form there, and it'll automatically create a login and password for you to take the ProPresenter 7 Quickstart course for free. Until next time, this is Paul Allen Clifford from TrinityDigitalMedia.com and ChurchTechU.com, reminding you to go out and change eternity.